And now for more on this story, we're joined by Mikael Valtersson in Stockholm. He's a military analyst and a former Swedish Armed Forces officer. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. So, if Ukraine were to concede Donetsk under pressure, how would that reshape the security architecture of Europe and the credibility of the United States' security guarantees?
Well, both Europe and Ukraine are against that. So if US put pressure on Ukraine to accept it and Ukraine was forced to accept it, it would diminish European reliance on the US very much, because then they know that they can't take US support for granted. And as the position is now, Europe and Ukraine want to freeze the front lines. They can accept that, but not to give up any territory that's not already taken by Russia. And of course not accepting it, the euro as a Russian territory, only accepting de facto Russian control of it.
Mikael, could Donald Trump's openness to Russia's terms undermine NATO unity, especially as European leaders both welcome his efforts and double down on sanctions?
Yes, because Trump has always been skeptical to NATO. During the last months, European leaders has worked hard to re-establish some kind of okay relations with Trump within the NATO, accepting 5% defense spending goals and other things. But it's very easy to break this newborn alliance again. So, and Trump is a very emotional person. So if he doesn't get his will, he might turn his back towards Europe in disgust and say, you can take care of Russia by yourself. And he has already said that earlier, that Russia could do whatever it wanted in Europe. Not the last months, but earlier he said that. So it could very well be that that situation returns again.
Now, Mikael, of course, many are saying that the summit in Alaska was a victory for President Putin. So I wonder, is Putin already the main beneficiary of the summit simply by being reinstated as a global player alongside U.S. President Donald Trump, regardless of whether or not a deal materializes?
Yes, partly by being accepted as an international power player by the U.S., but also he was. Trump said that he would impose sanctions on Russia if Russia didn't accept the ceasefire, and suddenly the U.S. turned to the Russian position, and Russia's always said no ceasefire. We must have a comprehensive peace deal. And then we can have a ceasefire. And now suddenly the U.S. has the same position as Russia. And so Russia avoided the secondary sanctions and the ceasefire pressure.
Mikael Valtersson, thanks very much for joining me here on TRT World. I really appreciate your taking out the time.